and about the revival tour. And as I recognized my mental state at that time, I look back at that girl and I don't even recognize her anymore. It broke my heart to see myself talking about my body and how it needed to look a certain way, and I just felt really bad. And I had to cancel that tour. That was the first tour I had to cancel.
It's kind of crazy.
It is a little weird to be learning, and by all means, I don't have life figured out in any way, shape, or form. I just have a better relationship with my mind, with my mental health.
None of us will.
I hope to start a relationship with my mind and my mental health that I will continue to grow and I will continue to understand more and more.
Alec was
Of so many things in life, and I think it's because I grew up anxious. I felt like I needed to perform and I needed to be the best I possibly could be, and my mom was always that person that allowed me to be exactly who I wanted to be and didn't judge me for any of it and loved me through it, and also would give me the information and the tools to grow. Instead of instilling more fear in me, she continued to educate me on the things that I was terrified of. And so I decided I needed to change the things I was watching. So I decided to watch things that were really well written and beautiful and happy. I changed the music I was listening to. I wanted to listen to positive things. I wanted to feel like I could be inspired. It's something like taking a walk. It's something like calling a therapist. If you have a sponsor, calling a sponsor. It's all these little things that seem so minuscule and like, oh, that won't work, that doesn't matter. It actually ultimately does. It's by doing that every day and even just getting up and looking at yourself and being okay with who that person is on the other side. My mom grew up listening to, Patsy Cline and Joni Mitchell and Janis Joplin, and then my dad grew up listening to all the Tejano music that I grew up with, like Selena Gomez, who I was named after, and he just kind of had a flair for R&B, and I was really inundated with so many different styles of music that it was a part of my life. I mean, I was 11 years old listening to Coldplay or Maroon 5, pretending I had been in love and I was in a breakup in the car, I would pretend I'd felt these emotions that people were talking about. Perhaps it's when I was having breakdowns, when I couldn't hide them, when whether the camera was there or not, I couldn't get out of my own head. And when I realized those moments kept stopping me from creating, a great tour, creating a good year, creating a good attitude, it's me. So every time I'm home, I actually love going to visit people. But that time I went in and invaded people's personal space, and it was wonderful. It was retracing the steps that got me to where I am, whether I was a little like disrupting the neighbors, or I was with one of my best friends that I grew up with, and watching her have children now and have a totally different life, and because my kids can look at someone on TV and they look like you, and that is something they can aspire to be or do. And I didn't understand it, because to me I just thought, well, I am who I am. But when I recognized the responsibility that I had been given with my platform, I truly felt like it was bigger than me. Most of the time when I would go through dark moments, I would get back up like over and over and over. Mine being the person that is a voice for mental health, because it's my life and it's a part of who I am. And I want people to start becoming more and more comfortable with that conversation. And I want it to stop being this label that terrifies people, or people don't believe in it, or think that it's not a real thing. If I would have released this documentary before the pandemic, maybe people would have thought I was crazy. I created this whole private life that was just mine, and I feel like I can relax now. I feel like now you guys know everything that I was walking through, and